Thank you, Ambassador, for the kind introduction. Thank you, Mr. Capo. Distinguished guests, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly delighted to be among you all this evening, and I can't begin without thanking Ambassador Navdeep and his entire team for hosting us and gathering us all under one roof in tribute of a man, a very special man, who was born today to Miss Pitlubai, a man who changed the political landscape of India in 1947, but also who gave the world a new meaning to freedom and influence. A man who freed India and allowed it to flourish to its greatness, which it enjoys today as one of the super global nations. I always wonder in my quiet moments, if the India which Bapu fought for, if it was not for his bold, fearless movements, would it be the same India which we all enjoy today? He did not only give India freedom from the British rule, but gave India and every Indian a global identity, and most importantly, he planted a seed of ambition and dream, which I see in every Indian I meet, which has resulted in both intellectual wealth and economic prosperity, which the entire globe enjoys. As a child, I used to often hear his name, Mahatma Gandhi, flaunting in our living room. I also read his name in public literature. My mother filled my curiosity at a very early age, which provoked me to my first encounter with Bapuji when I bought his autobiography at the age of 10. I enjoyed his autobiography so much that it encouraged me to read more of his other literature. He was such an amazing writer. When I was young, I used to know him as the man who moved the world, and the world in his times used to revolve around the British Empire. I was reminded of him again when I went to UK to pursue my legal education and was training to become a barrister of England and Wales and become a member of the Inner Temple, where you need to be registered to qualify as a barrister. When I got accepted at the Inner Temple, I still remember that very first call when I called my mom and dad in excitement and saying that this is the same place, Mom and Dad, where Mahatma Gandhi was also a member of. Now, many great political and worldly leaders, including Jawaharlal Nehru, were members of this prestigious court, but there was one name with me which struck me, and it was the impact Mahatma Gandhi had. Don't ask me how, and don't ask me why, but it gave me a new purpose and pride in doing what I was doing, and it almost gave me a reconfirmation that I was in the right direction in my own little journey of my life. Every evening, when I used to spend my cold winters in the Inner Temple library, and whenever I was struggling or having a very dull moment, seeing his life statue every evening in the Inner Temple stairway was enough to inspire me to do more and more. As many of you know, Mahatma started his legal career in South Africa, and many people, including himself, didn't think he was cut out to be a lawyer as he started his career in law. A lawyer myself, my take on this is not that he was not cut out to be a lawyer. He was very clearly, very intellectually capable, but I believe it did not give him any sense of personal fulfillment. It didn't create a burning desire within him, but he was lucky to recognize that what created a burning desire in him and his find purpose in life. He could not understand or stand injustice and inequality. And for me, he stood for what is the heart and cornerstone of law. Gandhiji fought for racial inequality and discrimination. And for me, he's a testament of the wider purpose and role of a lawyer who brings power of good as a driving force. Your ambassador earlier on shared some amazing teachings. We have seen those amazing teachings and values in Jawahar, but let me share with you there are a number of teachings. I could spend an entire evening sharing with you the amazing teachings he's touched so many souls, but I think I've picked few selective ones because I can resonate in those teachings and in those lessons, which I want to share with you. Men often become what they believe themselves to be. If I believe I cannot do something, it makes me incapable of doing it. But when I believe I can, then I acquire the ability to do, even if I didn't have it in the beginning. Mahatma Gandhi was a great orator. He didn't have a very attractive physique. He didn't wear very expensive suits. He lived a very simple life, as we all know. He avoided limelight as much as he could. But still, he's regarded as one of the greatest persons to ever walk on this earth. The reason is very simple. He always believed in himself. He believed that he had a great responsibility to free his country, and he had complete faith in himself. He knew he had to play a very significant role in the freedom of India, and so he did. His faith in himself triggered the faith of millions of Indians in him. So for the students in the crowd, whenever you're struggling or you're in times of doubt, I would definitely encourage you. See what he did. He did it because he had a simple faith in himself. All of us have great abilities and great responsibilities. All of us play a very significant role in the flow of history. The reason is that we never realize because we never believe we could have had a worldwide impact. Second, which he was, of course, celebrated for, resistance and persistence. First, they ignore you. Then they laugh at you. Then they fight you. And then you win. It was very tough to lead the independence movement of a huge country such as India, and that too with nonviolence and against the violent and cruel of the British Army. Gandhi was beaten a lot of times. A lot of times he was left alone, bleeding, and lying on the ground, and sometimes it seemed that he won't see the sun. Next day, but each day and each time he faced the opposition, he resisted, he persisted, and he got through all the opposition. He always said for all of us to remember, when you fight for a noble cause and you know that you're doing the right thing, you'll face the opposition. The opposition will make everything seem worse. They will make you feel like you're the only one standing for your cause, and the whole world is against you. That's the time you might feel like giving up, but you must resist the opposition and must persevere to make your dreams come true. The weak can never forgive. Another very important lesson, we're always asked to forgive people who hurt us. It's easier said than done. I am actually in the process of acquiring this skill. He used to say, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attitude of the strong. Bapuji was thrown into jail, beaten on the roads. Many people conspired about his death and tried to assassinate him. But he forgave them all. Can you imagine? He forgave them all. He always forgave the people that might have hurt him in any way. And he said, remember, what people don't understand is that forgiveness is not only a great quality, but it's also somewhat a selfish act. When you forgive the people that might have hurt you, you are caused you some problems. You let go of the negativity associated with that event. Forgiving people causes a long-lasting positive impact on their lives and builds everlasting relationships. So remember to forgive everyone. Forgive the person who didn't greet you as much as you wanted. Forgive the person who did not smile at you. Forgive the person who backbited you. Issue a blank pardon and forgive everyone. India and the world at large has phenomenally changed since 1863. We've wiped out telegrams and introduced digital telegrams on the palms of our hands. We have moved from diesel and gas to electric and solar power, from trains to drones, and yet till this very day we struggle with the concept of diversity, inclusion. We struggle to understand the young. We don't have the patience to be among the old and learn from their wisdom. We can't tolerate to be among the underprivileged and do everything to fit among the rich and famous. We will not invite people of different color and caste into our social circles and exclude human beings on the basis of their religion. Gandhi Ji was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 5 times, and the committee regrets not giving him the prize to this day. Not receiving the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't think would have mattered so much to Bapuji. What would have ached him is to see the world, which is much more divided than the division of 1948. In a world filled by fear, terror, and so much violence, it is in these times that we have to be more connected than ever for a better world. Let us celebrate Bapuji. Let us celebrate his teachings on this very day and every day for the sake of humanity. Thank you very much.